Hello folks, welcome back to Lisbon, welcome back to this ETS2 career mode save with the Custard Haulers. We're returning for another drive which is going to end in A Coruna, but we're starting out in a very different location. Yeah, we're starting off in Lisbon in this container port. We've got the statue over the way, which we'll talk about in a second. Thank you very much for the comment around that, and also behind us the viaduct which we're going to go under as well. But let's get into the cab, let's start this drive. We have a bunch of carrots in the truck, important cargo, one of the king of vegetables, particularly under certain circumstances. I do love a good carrot. So we're going to need to get those quickly up to A Coruna, and we're going to be going up the coast road. Let's have a look at this road that we're going to be going on. So all the way up this very western main road across the west side of Portugal, past Coimbra, Porto, Vigo, and eventually into A Coruna. So this is the second out of three legs of the Iberian Pilgrimage achievement. We'll talk a bit about that in a second as well, but before we get to any of that, my dearios, we have a viewpoint to pick up, and it's just here on the right. Did not pick that up as we came in because I wanted to leave it for you folks, so I'm just gonna slip into this little road here. There's not a lot of space here to get in, but we've got enough space for what we need. So what is this? Is this just Lisbon, or is it something else? It's the 25 de Abril Bridge, 7 out of 12 in the Grand Tour guide. So getting there with that particular achievement. So yeah, very, very impressive bridge. Apparently on the other side of the river is Almeria, and that's where the statue is, and that's called Christ the King rather than Christ the Redeemer, which is in Rio in Brazil. I'll put this comment up from Isaac Marquez, who is Portuguese, so you can see this because I think it's really cool. I love it when I get sort of stuff about these sort of local landmarks from people who live there. And so he was saying that when we get to the aqueduct that was built in the 1700s, and people used to go on school trips there. Oh, this is a nice panoramic shot. About 17 years ago he went on one there, and it basically is the Aqueducto das Aquas Livre, which means free water aqueduct. So it used to be the presumably the one of the sources of water into this the city of Lisbon. Very nice. Nice that it's focused around the bridge. I like that rather than just it being Lisbon in general. Right, we've got to take a right here. This is going to be a tight old little turn though. Are we going to... There we go, that's fine. We're out. So... that is so we're going to be going through Lisbon, which we didn't do last time out. We went on the bridge just on the left there, but we're going to be coming under the aqueduct, which you'll see just in a little second, and we're going to be just driving through a more central part of Lisbon. As I said, it doesn't, mind you, I don't remember it that well, and I was only in a very specific part of Lisbon when I arrived. It was a very nice city, from what I remember, but we didn't see much of it because most of it we were doing other things with work. So you can possibly, can we see the aqueduct yet? Not at the minute, but we'll stick together for a little bit before we do our first time lapse and just have a look at that. So the other thing that we're going to be trying to do today is add to the Conquistador achievement, which is currently we've got 12 out of 30 of the cities. I don't know, so our final destination we picked up, but we might be picking up Porto, I'm not sure. It's hard to tell whether we will or won't. Whether we pick up anything else, I'm not sure either, but that's the plan. You can see we need some sleep. That's pretty desperate at the minute, but this is a pretty nice drive, this sort of opening part of it. And at some point in the not too distant future, you will see the aqueduct, which we're just going to pass under. This is not it. This is a bridge, but we can't go on that bridge. I'm going a little bit on the speedy side. Let's just... There we go. So there's the aqueduct. We're just coming out of Lisbon. And yeah, this is a popular school trip location for kids in and around Lisbon. Thank you very much, Isaac, for that really cool little bit of history of what it's like to be, some of the local sites in and around Lisbon. And thank you very much for the comment, mate. So we are going to need, as you can see, a sleep. Let's have a look where our next location where we can sleep is. Probably here. We don't want to start going off in this area, so we'll probably set that location. So we've got 180 kilometers is how long it's going to take to get there. So we've got 9 hours, and I'm not sure how long we've got. So because we could come off a little bit earlier, that's certainly possible. But I think we've got a little bit in the tank. Was it F6? Next rest stop in 2 hours 30 minutes. So I think we're fine. Okay, folks, we'll talk a little bit about, again, remind you what this particular achievement is that we're trying to go for the second leg of. And we'll talk a bit more about achievements as well. Thanks for the folks who commented on achievements in the last episode, as well as a few other bits and pieces. So I'm going to leave you for a second. I'll do a little bit of a time lapse, and we will get to our rest stop, and then we'll come back and have a little chat in the morning. So see you later. Well, good morning, folks. It's a little bit late. We slept in a little bit, to be honest. 10:30 on Thursday morning. No one's going to know. We're not going to tell. We're not going to tell our boss. But it was very pleasant, lovely place. Had the air conditioning on full, all those sort of things. Picked up a little bit of petrol. You probably saw that as well. And so we now got a 5-hour 50 journey north into Spain. Which should be good. I want to talk a little bit about achievements as we're on the way there, so we'll just try and get out here. Still not sure how well the other cars react to your signalling. It feels like sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. And the other thing I had is cars coming off roundabouts, or onto roundabouts, sorry, and how completely random that is. They sometimes just barrel into you. They just don't stop, and I don't know whether that's them just not sure which lane you're in or what it is, but they don't react, it seems, in the main like normal human drivers. Probably an area that of work for ETS, perhaps, or SCS rather than the game itself, to sort out. So let's talk about achievements. So yeah, we're working towards a couple of achievements. The Iberian Pilgrimage is the one that we're focused on this time out. And last time out, we took a drive from Sevilla to A Coruna, and that was the first leg, or one of the legs, of the Iberian Pilgrimage. So that was in sort of southern Spain all the way up into A Coruna, which is in northwest Spain. So the other two legs that you have to complete are a delivery from Lisbon into A Coruna, and the final one is from Pamplona into A Coruna. Just have a quick look at that on the map, and you can sort of see where we are now. So Lisbon down here, Sevilla down there, and Pamplona there. So you get this kind of north drive across along the I don't know whether it's the coast, but at least through Portugal. You get this drive through Sevilla. This is the way that they recommended we did it, so we did do it that way, through Madrid and beyond, and then across the northern coast from Pamplona. So you get to see a lot of Spain. It's kind of a nice little achievement. If you've not done it yet, I was a little confused what it was all about, but it actually does give you a really good look at the map on some kind of nice long drives, which it's pretty cool, that. So this is leg number 2, and all the deliveries. Oh, we've just picked up Coimbra. Let's have a quick look, because we can't be that close to it. Yeah, it's all the way over here, so I wasn't expecting to pick that up, so that's good. It would expect that we might pick up Porto soon, and we've got that little photo up there, as well as some elsewhere, as well as one just past Vigo, possibly on the border, I'm not sure. Where's Vigo in Spain? Celta Vigo. That, if it is the same place, that's a Spanish football team, isn't it? So that must be within Spain. Unless there's two Vigos. No idea. So the other two that we're trying to do are the Conquistador achievement. So that's number 13 out of 30. That's what we were talking about. So visiting 30 of the marked locations in the Iberia DLC. So that's in Spain or Portugal. You've got to visit 30 of them. You don't have to deliver them, you just got to go through them. And the Grand Tour Guide achievement, which we've done 7 out of 12 there, and that's picking up the scenic viewpoints in the DLC as well. So picking up 12 scenic viewpoints. I think there's probably more, but we have now done 7 of those scenic viewpoints. So that's good, and I think we're benefit. I think those are nice, and it does mean that if you do those, you get to see a lot of the DLC. But we know within 1.55, the new update, a load of things were changed, and particularly around achievements. And I've talked about this over the last few episodes, which my sort of somewhat disappointment as to a lot of the achievements have got a lot easier. And Gilweb, thank you very much, mate, for putting this information in there, because I was asking, because I picked up the I Am GPS and the Pathfinder achievements. Now the Pathfinder achievement I'd forgotten, but that's the hardest achievement to get in the game, or it was, where you had to basically explore 100% of the map, and I think that meant all buildings. I'm going really slow now. All buildings, all little roads here, there and everywhere. It was a nightmare to get, but obviously that's a lot harder to do if you've got loads of DLCs, so they changed it to 40,000 kilometers. So yeah, it wasn't done in kilometers as I suggested before, it was in percent of the map. And the other one which I picked up was the I Am GPS achievement, which is kind of like the little brother of Pathfinder, which was 60% of the map. That is now 20,000. Oh Christ, where we go? 20,000. I've gone a bit wrong there. 20,000 kilometers. We'll try and get this in. Right, just there we go. So we've paid. I didn't see how much that was, but that was the other end of the toll road that we were on. Are you gonna let me in? You are. Right. Always slightly worrying, that is. So yeah, those are big differences, really big differences. Now I can understand why they want to change that, and as I was saying, that kind of does make some sense. We've picked up Porto as well. Do we want to go? We can't go that way, so I think we've got to stay here. So that's number 14. We'll probably stay on this and chatting until we get that photo up, and then we'll sort of do another time lapse after that. But yeah, that is so I understand why they've done that, because obviously it's really hard to if you've got all the DLCs to explore 100% of them. And nobody will have done that, I don't imagine, or maybe some have, but you'd have to be playing the game for years to be able to. I've got a lot of hours on this game and I'm not even close. So someone would have to just be driving constantly, or very, very strategically. But even then, it would take forever. So I understand these sort of changes. But 40,000, is that really equivalent? It might well be. I'm not sure. But oh Christ, I was going to try and go down there, but no, I wasn't. I wasn't allowed to. So yeah, that's fascinating. And just as some context, and thank you very much, Micropizza, who is our resident truck driver, who checked on the ETS2 wiki, or the trucking wiki. I think it may cover both of them, but apparently 33 achievements were changed. Pretty much all of them getting easier. So you can understand why we ended up getting a few more achievements out of that. But there we go. I mean, hopefully they don't make any more changes. And it was just a bit strange, the language they used about that they weren't able. They had to make these changes to achievements to make things a little bit more, or to make it more sort of easier in the future for them to put new achievements in the game. I don't see that at all. So we have our, it looks like a stadium, some sports stadium of some degree. So we are in Porto. So is this going to be, I'm not sure what the Porto stadium is. The Dragon Stadium of Porto. Is that the football stadium? I can't recall what the Porto football stadium is called. But yeah, let me know, folks. Let me know. It would be cool if some of the actual football strips and things like that were in the DLC, so you got to see the big badge on the side of the stadium as well. That would be nice. Right, folks, let's just have a quick schmoozy at the map. We have chatted away for a little bit, and we're now going to be heading up towards A Coruna, out of Portugal. Oh, here it is. Yeah, Vigo is just north of Portugal. So we're going to have a little look at what that is, but I'm going to do a time lapse until we get there. There is something there, but I don't want to sort of spend time trying to get over there. Are we going over this side? Right, see you in a sec, folks. folks, we are just coming past Vigo now, gone through the Portuguese-Spanish border. I didn't see much of I didn't see anything really. I didn't see a flag, maybe I missed it, but yeah, that was interesting. I expected to see a bit more, but maybe that's just me. So it looks like whatever this is the bridge. This is the bridge that we're picking up here, this viewpoint. So this massive bridge, which I guess defines the northern. This river defines the northern part of Portugal, the northern coast. You can see there, it goes all the way through to the coast. The Randa Bridge, rather cool. One of the things I was wondering about as we kind of went through that border, which I didn't see, is kind of how for people who are Portuguese or Spanish, and I'm not sure if there's any of you watching, but how different, how much of a difference does it feel going through a border between countries like that? How big does it feel? Because I wonder whether it kind of feels a little bit like in the UK, where we have I was going there. Yeah, where if we go between, England and Wales, which I did not so long ago, whether that's kind of the same sort of thing. I realise it's a different language, but so there is the Welsh language, and actually all the signs have Welsh on them, but everyone speaks English. But my understanding is that if you can speak Spanish, you can understand Portuguese pretty well, and vice versa. I might be wrong about that, but is that kind of how it feels, that it's not this massive language barrier, so it just kind of feels a little bit familiar even though you're going to another country? Let me know. I'd love to hear about that. But this is very different. This is a very different part of Spain, considering all the stuff we've had in central Spain, that dry, arid scrubland. This is sort of very, very lush in comparison. I imagine it's a lot wetter as well, so a lot more rain. I guess maybe that's because we're by the coast, or ish by the coast. I'm not quite sure. Let's have a look. How far away from the coast are we? It's not a million miles. Well, we're closer to the coast than we were when driving through the centre of Spain. So all those sort of things are really fascinating. So let's keep an eye on what we're doing. Okay, right. So there's this kind of rock feature. It must have been dug out of this to have that sort of rock cliff there. I mean, we've certainly had a lot of those in the past, in maybe in the West Balkans, around Scandinavia, where they've really had to kind of make the road out of an impassable feature. Whereas, a lot of other places, like going through Spain, central Spain, there wasn't a lot of that needed. It was just like, well, we'll put a road here, it's fine. Right. Well, this is, we've only got now 89 miles to go, 1 hour 11. So what we'll do is a final little time lapse as we drive into A Coruna, because you've already seen that once, so you probably don't need to see it all over again. So I will pop off and we'll do a little bit more music, and I'll see you in a sec. folks, we're back. We're actually coming into A Coruna in a different route. There's a fishing boat just on the left there that you can see, just on the side of the road. I guess that represents this being a fishing village, fishing population, but it looks a rather well fleshed out little city. It'd be nice to have a little explore around it, because a lot of the cities are, it's a lot about these sort of industrial areas and not so much about the city itself, and sometimes doesn't feel as unique. But this one looks quite good. You probably also saw me getting completely wedged at the toll road. In all the tolls we've had so far, it's been fine. We've just gone through a lane that was open. Turns out that toll coming into A Coruna, there is a height restriction on everything. So I got to where I was hoping. I thought they were just kind of like doors that would open for us. Oh, I thought, yeah. But it turned out I wasn't allowed to go in them. So then I had to cross across all the traffic to get to the truck ones, which didn't have that height restriction, causing a tremendous amount of chaos. So, yeah, that was a bit annoying. Little bit of a shunt with a truck who decided not to stop for me, but no damage recorded, so that's fine. Yeah, so we're right here, 8 kilometres away. We've had a lot of fun with the reversing, and if you weren't... do we want to go under or over? I think we want to go under. Yeah, if you didn't watch the ATS video, I'd had a nice comment on the ATS video giving me some advice from Hal about how I should be approaching the truck yards when I get in them, as to, you know, to make sure that I have the best chance of being able to reverse it properly. And the idea is you go counterclockwise around the building to try and get the best possible chance of a good reversing opportunity. So we'll apply that logic here. Thank you very much, Hal. You can also see just on the right there, on the little map on the bottom, that is our centre, our what's it called, home base here in Coruna. We bought that garage a little while back. So there isn't really a chance to go around the back of this, so we're going to have to circulate around the yard in a clockwise manner and just see whether we can make it work for us. Right, so it's a 40. Basically, we're going right. In fact, you just basically need to go back out the gates and then reverse back in. That's fine. We can do that. We know when we're not wanted. So we'll circulate in a clockwise fashion. Sorry, counterclockwise fashion is what he said. We'll come back out here. Again, as always, they've got someone watching us, observing. Right. There we go. My hope is this shouldn't be too tricky to get right, which is probably when I mess it up. No, haven't gone far enough. Haven't gone far enough. I think I messed this up. What was I talking about, me being really good at this? Oh no, that's fully messed up. Doesn't take much, does it? Doesn't take much. You just... Right, try again. Number 2. This feels already happier. There we go. I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed I didn't get that first time. There we go. I'll turn the engine off and couple the trailer. And there we go. Bit of a disappointing bit of reversing. Number 2 out of 3 for the Iberian Pilgrimage, and we might be getting towards level 41. I was told apparently the top level you can get is level 100, but you don't get it. It's just kind of like prestige that you get for going all the way there. But you know, there we go. Nice long drive again. I thought that was a lot of fun. Had a good look at the Portuguese landscape. Look at the rivers and some of the locations along the way, so that was nice. So yeah, that is all good. I hope you enjoyed our little journey from Portugal to northern Spain. What comes next? Well, we can't do the third leg from Pamplona because we haven't picked that up yet, so but we will try and do that when we can. What we might do, we might just have another little look. This will be a, you know, if we do see this, the job from Munich to Vienna in the quick jobs, we will do that because that is the next one on the Orient Express achievement, but it's not there, so we're waiting for it to turn up. We have also got the opportunity potentially to do a farm machinery drive. I haven't picked up the DLC yet, but it is now in my Steam shopping cart, so it will be coming. I would like to explore those loads a little bit. I also know we've got a couple of the heavy loads that we haven't done, so we'll have a look at those and see which ones are missing. I might do one of those drives. Yeah, there's loads of opportunities, and there is also the marble achievement in the Greece DLC, which is the one we have not done yet, so we could explore that one as well. Let me know what you'd want to see, what we'd be interested in doing. I also wanted to do an electronic truck, an e-truck. We haven't done one of those yet. I did say I was going to, haven't done it yet either, so there's another thing that we could have a look at. All sorts of things going on. Anyway, folks, if you have enjoyed that, please hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. See you for the next one. Goodbye.